Gather round, everyone. It's that time again where we cozy up by the nice warm fire. And oh, we're in summer right now, and the UK is going through a heat wave. You know what, I'll try this again when it's winter, I guess. But gather round anyway, as today we are going to be looking at the Outbreak Easter egg, the first one to be exact. There's two now, and we're going to be hearing the zombies community's thoughts on this, aka your thoughts. There's been a lot of news going on with zombies lately, so I haven't had time to actually sit and make this, despite having the idea and starting to make the video. But there's just been so much news with like zombies lately. One example being Jason Blundell coming back, which is pretty damn important, as well as season 4 of zombies and like the new map that's coming out. There's just been a lot going on, so I haven't really had time to just do this video. But regardless, better late than never. Here we are, finally doing this. But because I enjoy making these I Asked Zombies players videos, comment your thoughts down below about the second Outbreak Easter egg, and that will be the next one. Even if you're not the type of person to comment, do it anyway, because you know you'll be able to be featured in the video, and it's really interesting just hearing everyone's thoughts. So yeah, just for reference, I'm going to be talking about the first Easter egg for Outbreak here. Kicking us off today is a comment from Top Super Kicker. You see what I did? See what I did? And they say, I love the difficulty spike, very BO4 boss fight like. It reminds me of Voyager's boss fight, which ain't a bad thing. Which yeah, if there's one thing Voyage had going for it, which I personally just don't like the map, it could have been so much better, but that's a whole other can of worms. It had a decent boss fight, and I think the idea of a giant Avogadro is just a cool concept for a boss fight, so I'm all for it. And if there's one thing that Outbreak does get right, and this is even Easter eggs aside, it's the difficulty spike, and in the Easter egg, it definitely is much more impactful, although it does have some problems, and well, there'll be a comment about that very soon, I'm sure. Matthew Chalmers, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, says, I personally don't enjoy it because Outbreak is time consuming, and oh boy, if Outbreak is anything at all, then it is definitely time consuming. And even if you love the mode or hate it, I think you can't not agree to that. Like, I'll start playing the game to record some like footage and like gameplay for videos, and then I'll be on round 3 and I'll look at the time and a solid like 45 minutes has passed, and that's just to round 3. And so where the Easter egg will tie into this is very understandable, because zombies Easter eggs usually do tend to be very time consuming, and it's not as bad as it used to be. Like, some Easter eggs would take hours to complete, but with Outbreak being such a time-consuming game mode as well as Easter eggs, I understand where people come from when they say that they don't enjoy it, like Matthew here. The next comment here is from Frosty Beverage, and remember when I said that there was a comment about the difficulty spike here that would be coming up probably? This has to be the one. Frosty Beverage says, the mimics are outrageous, literally go in and there are over 50 mimics. And they're referring to the boss fight here, and it just constantly throws mimics at you. In fact, Outbreak as a whole can be like that, but obviously with that difficulty spike in the boss fight, I've like watched some people's gameplay and there's just mimics coming at them non-stop. Even a celebrity that just opened up an OnlyFans has less people running over to it than these mimics running over to you in this boss fight. But yeah, spawns in Outbreak, not only just the mode in general, but the boss fight as well for the Easter egg, the spawns are pretty crazy. Ricketts Jr. says, it's good, but fuck, the boss fight is hard. It's not a bad thing though. I've lost twice at the boss already, and I think I've just lost my monetization already, but moving on from that, I'm glad that Ricketts is aware that it's not a bad thing for the boss fight to be hard, because games that are challenging, and this is why I've always respected zombies, I feel like for me personally, it makes me want to overcome it more. You know, like Dark Souls and Cuphead and just games that are really hard. And that's why I've been playing a lot of Apex as well. It's because they are hard games, and without that challenge they could be pretty boring. And so when you do an Easter egg, it's like the boss fight is this final wave of difficulty. And so it seems like the Outbreak boss fight has clearly captured this sense of challenge. But I do want to see some F's in the comments for Ricketts Jr. I hope you have managed to do the boss fight, but as of right now, Wow, big F for our fallen comrade. Rolling on over to the next comment. This is from Luke Holmes, and they say, this Easter egg didn't hold your hand and is actually difficult unlike the other two, so it's a win for me. There it is, someone else who appreciates a difficult Easter egg. Because when an Easter egg is too easy, I really do feel like it just takes away that satisfaction of doing them in the first place. And it is always good to just see people enjoying the new content in zombies. I definitely know that morale can get a little low sometimes with this community, but it is just nice seeing people enjoy these things though. So let's give it up for Luke the homie. I am glad it's a win for you. Moving on to quite a sharp contrast to the last comment. This is from Councillor Gary, and he says, wasn't worth the wait in my opinion. I mean, fair enough. I think one of the things I would love to make all of these Easter eggs feel like they were worth the wait is an Outbreak Super Easter egg, because it seems like they're not stopping at the second Easter egg here. It definitely seems like they're going to be doing more Easter eggs, as in main quests, and I think that would put a lot more value for people like Councillor Gary here, who just don't feel satisfied with the Easter egg. If they were told that there was a big super Easter egg waiting for them, then maybe it would give them more incentive to actually play through the Easter eggs, and hopefully it would feel less underwhelming. Kill Will dropped us a comment, and he says that the quest seemed okay. My only problem is Legion, which is the boss. He doesn't really move and can only be damaged in certain spots. It works, I guess. Seems to me that the real challenge is trying to stay alive while you kill him because of the onslaught of enemies. And there it is, another comment about the constant enemies that are just spammed at you throughout this boss fight. And about Legion not moving, I do get why they do it, and yeah, it does work. I agree with Will there. But Outbreak is a mode where there is so much open space on these maps, and I think the Order boss fight takes full advantage of that. I mean, when the Order stomps on you, you don't just get damaged, you get flung all the way back. There's just so much space to move around in, and that boss fight does take full advantage of doing that. And so the boss fight isn't scared to knock you back a lot to show how powerful Order is and give you time to recover from the amount of damage it does, and there's plenty of room to micromanage the zombies without having to have the boss so close to you. Whereas with the Legion boss fight, it's kind of a different story. And plus, with Order always running after you, it kind of makes it much more scary, even though you do have all of that space, and I think that's what makes it a fun boss fight. And I don't think Legion is a awful boss fight, but I really understand where people are coming from with this perspective. And I do have to agree with Will here when he says that the real challenge really is the constant onslaught of enemies. The boss fight, to me, just seems like it's mainly about micromanaging. Are you able to focus fire on the boss, but then quickly switch and train the enemies for a little bit and get rid of them? Make sure the coast is clear before you go back to the boss. That kind of thing. TrixX says, I am not an Easter egg guy, and I got annoyed while doing it, so I just rage quitted and went to play the best zombies map, which is Die Rise, because there is who's who. Lol. We need to help this man. Die Rise has converted him. He's been taken, and now he actively wants who's who. We need to help him. Don't worry, we'll get a search party to come and rescue you from the pit that is Die Rise. But I can imagine that if you're not an Easter egg guy and you tried this Easter egg, it would get very annoying very quick, especially considering Outbreak isn't traditional zombies. But like in Who's Who though, you have committed heresy among the community. Thank you for the comment though. And for the final comment of the video here, this comes from Slal1968, responding from a video I did earlier, by the way. That was a very informative video, dude. As for the Easter egg, haha, fishing spot go brr. Why is it that when you fish in Outbreak, it makes this huge, like, explosion? The explosion when you fish is so unnecessary, but this comment is so true. And with that, concludes concludes another episode of I Asked Zombies Players. I just want to say thank you to everyone who commented. These videos aren't possible without your guys' input, so I just want to say again, thank you for the comments. Some of them are genuinely good criticism, some of them are really amusing to read, and are pretty damn funny, so thank you all for the comments, and I hope we can keep doing these videos. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the next I Asked Zombies Players video is going to be about the second Easter egg that has just came out with season 4. Drop your thoughts on that in the comments below, and keep an eye out on my channel as well on the community section, because I'll probably be posting on there taking in some comments. But if you enjoyed, be sure to smash that like button, be sure to comment down below, and only a very small percentage of people are even subscribed to the channel, so if you're still here or you enjoyed the content, then subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and you can change your mind whenever you want. Turn on the notification bell too to stay notified whenever I upload. Thank you so much for watching and for all the great comments, and I will see you next time.